You cannot copy and paste CSS easily. No, not from Stack Overflow, but from a website called Shanty UI. So in this video, I'll be showing you how easy it is to use Shanty UI, and we are going to be building this amazing looking UI called the TikTok clone. So in this UI, we are going to implementing light and dark mode. So by the time you click on this button here, you can switch from light mode to dark mode, and we can also use this system mode. So, and also with another functionality, we're also going to use some components that Shanty UI provides us with, which is the ability to use carousel. So I'm going to be able to navigate through different videos which I've put on this UI. So if you like this video, so make sure to subscribe, comment, and turn on notification. So let's get into the video. Shanty UI is not a component library, but it is a collection of reusable React components. No, it's not from me, but from the Shanty UI official doc, which is stated here. And you can use it to build your application or even still create your own component library, also stated on the official doc. If you want to use it to build your own platform or your own application, you can simply just copy and paste any of the components manually. So to do that, you can just come over to the button place, scroll down to where you can see manual, select it, and you can add it manually. Or even better still, you can use the CLI, which is going to make it quicker and make everything set up correctly. Now you don't need to even install Shanty UI because Shanty UI is not a dependency itself. There's no npm package for it. Instead, Shanty UI combines two amazing library, which is the Redix and platform and Tailwind CSS. If you're unfamiliar with Redux UI, it provides on-style accessible components and allow you to fully customize, but it does all of this accessibility related implementation for you, which can be a lot of things to think about. There is also Tailwind CSS, which is an amazing utility first class framework that allows you to use predefined utility classes directly in your markup. Instead of writing out all of the CSS by hand, it saves a lot of time and hassle. Now, you might be wondering, why not just use Redis UI? Why do we need to use Shanty UI? Well, Redis UI is great, but it comes on style, which again is great for customizability. But I would like to start with something that look nice as a base, and then I can easily customize it. And that is what Shanty UI provides us with. It gives us a great looking component that we can use out of the box on our application. As you can easily update the existing style. That is because again, these are just copy and paste boilerplate components, not a UI library that gets installed. So this component will live right in your UI folder under the React component folder. That is an example of how to use Shanty UI button component. When you scroll down, you also support Shanty UI support TypeScript, and also it supports mode out of the box when I switch from dark to light mode and light to dark mode. Also, it also provides a custom themes. Come over to themes, and now you can select from different predefined themes that Shanty UI provide. You can select from the colors here, red, orange, and when you're okay with what you select, just click copy the code, and if you copy the code, paste it to your global CSS file, and it will reflect to all your components you've added in your code base. So I'm going to walk you through all of this throughout this video. So the first thing is, how do we set up Shanty UI? So that is what we're going to start using it. Since this is just a React component, they can be used in various React-based framework. So I'm going to walk you through the setup in all of the major React framework, which is the Astro, Vite, Gatsby, and Next.js. There are timestamps in the video. If you want to skip to a specific framework, then move to where you are going to build out our application, which is basically the same. So no matter which framework you use. So for this project, I'm going to be using the Nextjs 14 app router because of the new updates most of it has, and it will be better for us to use it to learn from it. All right, let's see how we can set up Shanty UI in Vite React. So the first thing we are going to do is to install Vite. So before we go ahead, make sure to check out the GitHub link in the description and give a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. So make sure to open an empty directory. I've opened my, which is called the Vite app. And what we're going to do is to install Vite. To do that, we should open our terminal. Just open my terminal. Then Let me clear this. Then install paste this. So this is npm create Vite at latest, and make sure to put period at the end to install the package in the same directory. And once you've done that, just click on enter. Then it's going to ask you the package name. I will just select it to Vite app. I select React. Then we're going to use TypeScript. And pretty quick, right? Then the next thing we should do is to npm install the whole package. So once it's installed, we are going to add in the Tailwind CSS, the post CSS, and the auto prefixer as a dev dependency. So it has installed successfully. Then the next thing to do is make like this, is to paste in our, is to add in the npm install dev dependency Tailwind CSS, post CSS, auto prefixer, and press in your enter. So if you install all of this, so let's paste it here. So this is basically the base URL, the path, and if you use this prefixer, the at to import, which directs where it links to the source inside the source directory. So once you've added that, we need to also install a dev dependency, which we're going to add in the Vite package. So we're going to open our terminal and let's clear this and install. Let's install npm install dev dependency at types / node. So let's install that. So once it's done installing, let's close down this our terminal and come over here and paste this. So what this does, it resolve the error. So it let Vite know that this is the part, this is the prefix to the source directory. So make sure to import the path and to save that. So what we're going to do next now is to install the Shanty UI, the Shanty UI package. So what we can do now is to open our terminal and clear this, clear it, and we should put in npx Shanty npx Shanty UI at latest. And let's initialize it. So it's going to ask us a few questions. So would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. This team, would you like to use New York or default? Yes. I would like to use the. Where is your global CSS file going to be? Is it going to be in app? No, I'm going to say plus style global CSS. Let's see, it should create a file for me, a folder for me. So will you use CSS variable? Yes. Okay, let's leave it blank. So Tailwind config.js. Yes. Components. Yes. Yes. Let's say no. Write configuration to component JSON proceed. Let's put yes. So if you install the package, it has created the global CSS for us. Alright, so everything is set up successfully. So before we go ahead, let's run our app to see if it's actually working. So I've opened um, the terminal, extra terminal where I can run the app. So I'll just run an npm run dev. So run the application. So once they're open, just open localhost 51. You can see that the application is set up successfully. Vite is actually working. So let's go ahead, go back, and now if you go to the source directory, come out to the directory, click on the app components, and let's close this terminal. So if you see this boilerplate code, let's clear all the boilerplate code. So I'm going to clear everything here. Let's clear this. Clear everything. So I'm going to put in a div. And the div should have a class name. And the class name should take in full width with a height of, let me give it a 400 too. A BG of blue 300. Let's see whether it is. Let me give it 200 instead. So to confirm that Tailwind is set up, then add in flex item center with justify center. So if we save this, then let's put in, let's say Vite Shanty UI. And when we save this, we should come over here and check the main.index, and let's import the global style dash global CSS. So let's also confirm from our Tailwind config that everything is set up. It's added here. And okay, so let me fix this, guys. So what I did there is to change the Tailwind config from JX to TX, and the error will stop bringing the error out. So we should check our app, and let's preview this and see that it's actually working. You can see that Tailwind CSS is actually working. So let's go over to our code base, and let's remove the blue since we've confirmed that this is working, and let's convert this to screen. And if we save that, then let's also go ahead, and we should see that it has centered the text to center and remove the background. So let's go and add the Shanty UI to our application. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to Shanty UI doc. So what I'm going to do is to go over to where you see components. So click on button. Let's install button. Let's add button into the application. So we're going to scroll down to where we see it has the installation. Then let's copy this. So you can use any package manager you have. So I'm just using npm, so just click on it. Then what we can do is to go over to our code. So once you've come over to your code base, just open your terminal and let's paste it in. So This is just to add the button, but if you want to add all the components at once, you can simply just remove this and put in all. Or if you want to add them gradually, if you want to add like two, you can use button and tabs to add both button and tab. So you can do any of them. So for what to do now, we can also do something like this. I think so. Let's see whether it will work. I think something like that. So I think it didn't work. So what we can do, let's just add a button and let's install it. Add it inside our component. So it has fully installed, added a button in our component. So if you come over to okay. So guys, I noticed that we have I know when you try and add the button, you see this. If you see this showing here, it might show component to just delete this. Just make sure to delete this. So the only way to fix this is, first of all, before we go ahead, let's come over to the JSON config type app and move this. This was outside. Just move it inside the compiler option. So once you've done that, found that the part is okay. So there's a problem with Vite. The Vite I understand now is that something I don't understand what there's config app just mean. So if you want it to work perfectly, you can actually copy the whole of this and paste it inside here. Paste inside here and add a reference to the ts config node. Then come inside the environment and change no ma to false. It will work. But if you want to leave the structure, you can try another way. The other way you can do is to come over to component.json, then change this to src, while leave this to art. So once you've done that, open this. Then we will need to initialize it again. So once you initialize again, let's initialize. So it's going to ask us some few questions. The same thing, yes, just wait. You should see that it has opened a component here. But we're still having this problem here. It's putting it in the art. So of this. So I think when I talked about this one is not working. So what we can do here is to close this. Let's copy everything here. Come to this place. Then let's copy this and paste this inside here. So once you've pasted this, what you should do now is to put in a reference. So I'm going to put in the reference here. Below this, I'll put in comma and put in the reference, the path to this. You can actually comment the old one, the other one, but this is how to do it. So come to here, if you see error, then change this to false. So once you change this to false, now Vite will understand that this is what you should access. So understand the path in ts config. So you should come back to component, quickly change this to art back, and let's add the button. So once I click on add the button, let's see, you should add the button. So the only problem now is that it's not showing the so what we can do to do that is to initialize again. So you see that it has bring out the lib folder utility. So now everything works well. So if you prefer this way, updating, taking the whole code, the whole this thing from into CS config app.js into inside CS config JSON to make it work. So once this has been updated, so I want to override my button. Let me see that everything is working fine. So let's override the button. Yeah, everything is working fine. So I think we had to, Print is giving us the warning telling us that to export both component and then refreshable the variant is not required that we should separate it. So if you want to separate, you can separate it. Or if you want to quickly just disable this, you can quickly disable that. And once you've installed the button, let's look at the button component code. You can see that it is actually using Redux UI to inside the code base. I mean, this isn't really so inside the code base. And if you scroll down, we can see different bunch of variants that it provides us with default, destructive outlines, secondary, ghost, link, and also provide us with sizes, default small and icon, then also a default variant. So I think the default variant is what is added by default to the button. And we can look at the actual component here. This is the actual component. So what we can do is to use the button inside our component. We can come over to the app component. So if we come over to the app component, so let's remove this text and let's put in a button. So make sure to import that from okay. So make sure to import that. And what we should do here, we should name this button, let me say open model. So let's go and start the server. npm run dev. So once it has run, you should be able to see the button. You can see the button has appeared in the center. So we can also add some variant to it. We can add the size and we can also increase and change this the variant color, the styling. So let's go back to our code. So let's switch to our code and let's close this. Then let's come here and put in a size. So the size, we have the option for large. So this has increased the size. So if we preview it, we can see that the size has increased. Size has increased. So let's go back to our code and let's try to change the variant of this button. So if you come over to our code, then let's put in variants. Then for example, I'll just try with destructive. So if we change this and go back to the code, you should see that the color of the button has changed to red, which is destructive. So we can also try with the ghost. So let's try with the ghost. And if we select ghosts and let's save that, we should see that the button has changed to ghost. If you override, nothing happens here. And ghost is just simply for telling the button that there should not be any style attached to it. And the last one we're going to look at is the outline. So once you save that, save the outline, and let's go to, let's see it preview. You see that it has given a border around the button. So this is mainly most of the variants are. So all right. So now you can import any of the Shanty UI component just like this, and just like how we did with the button, and it should be good to go. So let's see how we can make Shanty UI work with Gatsby. So the first thing we're going to do is initialize Gatsby. So I'm going to paste in npm init Gatsby, and I'm going to press enter. So you should ask us some questions like, so I'm going to name this like Gatsby app. I'm going to Gatsby web. Then I'm going to press enter. Would you like to name the folder where your site will be called? So this or just pressing. Let me just call it. I'm going to choose in TypeScript. Then once I choose in TypeScript, I'm going to say no, we don't need any of this. So I'm going to choose in Tailwind CSS. So I think let's keep this. Link to select and then arrow key select and confirm with done. So let me just press enter. Thank you for. So let's say yes. Yes. So it's going to add in the. I should have put that there. So it's adding the package for us. So it has completed installing. So just come over to your CS config and let's scroll down to the bottom and let's add in the. Let's add in the base. So what we're going to do is to copy this Gatsby -node.js and let's create the file. The file is not here, so let's create the file. So this is my folder. So I just paste it here. And then once I paste this, what I'm going to do is to paste this and then just paste it. So why is it giving me error here? So I just put in any to resolve the error. So it's trying to set up webpack and it's setting the art components to direct to source components, while the loop utility to direct to source utility. So the next step we're going to take is to initialize our Shanty UI. So what I'm going to do here is to come over to my terminal and then let's cd into my folder and let me clear this. So let me initialize. So let's say yes. Let's use the default. So I'm going to set this to src slice global css. So will you like yes? So let me leave it blank. Yes. Let's want this. We don't want server components. Let's proceed. So it's still installing. So it has finally installed completely. So what we should do next is to go over into our src folder, down to where we see pages. Let's create this file. So when we come to where you see pages, and let's click on the index. So what we're going to do here is to clear out everything here. So let me clear all this thing out. And let me clear all this. So let me add in section, and let's say anti-cdn like UI plus Gatsby. So let's add in some classes. So we're going to put width, H full, H screen, flex, then center, and justify center. So she said this, and let's run our server. So I'm going to put npm run develop. So you can see that it has finally installed. So it has given us the localhost 8000. So this is an error warning from webpack patch. So we can check this, resolve this if we want to, bro. We can test our to see if Tailwind is actually working on the development side. So I'm going to go to, we can see that Shanty UI is actually working now. It's working in Gatsby. So it's time to import some of the Shanty UI components. So now let's add a Shanty UI component to Gatsby project. So I'll just paste in. Let me clear this. So we are going to initialize the Shanty UI. So what we're going to do now is to npm Shanty UI add latest, and let's add the button. So I'm going to click enter, and it should add the button to our component. Let's see what's happening here. There's an okay, there's an error. I made a mistake. There's an error here because I didn't navigate to my directory where my is. Let me add it again. It's actually installing. So Chanting UI button, the button has added successfully. So if you want to add multiple Shanty UI components, you can add button tabs at the same time, or you can simply just put all, and it will install all of the components it has. So now that that's installed, let's go into the button component and see how it looks like. So if you come inside your component, click on the button. Let's close this. We see that this is just simply a copy and paste component. This is not actually a library. So if you come over, you see that Shanty UI is making use of the Redis UI as we talked about. Then if you scroll down, you can see the actual component is being displayed here. This is it. Yeah, when you come over here, you will see that it also provides us with variants, default destructive outlines, secondary, and so on, and also provided with size and more. So we are going to have to use this button in our app. And can choose from different of the variants it provides us with. So let's go over to index.js and let's clear this out. And let's put the button. So inside the button, I'm going to add in So let's put in here. So we're going to come over here and let's try with different of the variant. So before we try and let's go over to the button. We can also add our own variant here if you want. You can come over here and here we can say this as primary primary button, and you can add in your own style, and it will actually, if you come over here and put in variants, when you do that you can see your primary variant has appeared inside. So likewise for the size. Likewise for the size. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to let's use the size. So I'm going to set this to image. And let's remove the variant to see how it looks like when the size is large. And let's make sure our server is actually running. Let's make sure our server is actually running, and let's preview this. You should see that it has shown the subscribe to channel, and this is the default background color of the button, and it has given the size to large. Let's increase the size of the button. So let's try with the variant. So if we go over to our code base and let's close this. So let's come in and try a particular variant. Let's try destructive. And again, once we save that, you should see that it has changed the color of the button from the dark color to a destructive or a danger or red color. So we can also try another variant which is called the ghost. So I'm going to come over here and just let's put in ghost. So ghost simply means it should remove all style added to it. So once I save that, let's preview that. We should see that the button style is normal. Only when you hover, you can notice that the style is there, but there's no style added to it. So let's move on to the last one, the last variants we have, which is the outline. So once we save that and let's preview that, we see that the button now has a border around it. So this is trying to tell us that we have variants that Shadcn provide us with, and you can use anyone. So alright, now you can import any other Shadcn UI component just like the way we did with the button and use it in your own application. So let's start. Let's see how to add Shadcn UI in Astro. So the first thing we're going to do is to npm create Astro latest, and let's add a period at there. So to create a project, and let's press enter. So we're going to create an empty project. So let's create an empty project, empty, and we're going to use TypeScript. So let's use the streets, install dependency, initialize new repo now. So you should install the project. All right. So we're going to add React to Astro. So what we're going to do now is to type in npx astro add react. So let me first of all clear this and then press enter to add react to it. So if you install React, sorry, let's press yes and let it proceed. So once React has installed, we'll add npx astro add Tailwind. So once it is done, if you encounter error, I think the problem was it was trying to find the Astro config inside the Astro config MJ. So I think what we need to do is to npm install it. So once you've installed the package by installing npm install, you should see the node module. You should see the node module. So once node module as you've installed and install all the packages, just come over and add the React. So once you add it, it should go through and it should ask you that should it install all these packages. So I'll just put in yes. So you should import, you should install the dependency. It's via dependency. So let's add this to it. And it has added its SRTS. Successfully updated it. So let's clear. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in the Tailwind CSS into it. So let me do that. So show npx astro add Tailwind CSS. Tailwind, I mean. So the package has resolved completely. We should put in yes. So once the package install, so once you've added npx astro add Tailwind CSS Tailwind, you should be able to, you should be asked some few questions, or you should add yes to everything. Then you should continue, and once it has added successfully, you should create a Tailwind CSS config, and the Astro config should be updated with React and Tailwind. So once this is completed, we need to update our TS config. So I'm going to come over to my TS config, which is here, and close this. And we're going to replace this. We're going to update this with the base URL, the path, and also the prefix which we're going to use. So once we've done that, what we need to know is to initialize the Shanty UI. So we're going to initialize the Shanty UI. So let's open our terminal and paste npm Shanty UI. So let me clear this. Let's initialize Shanty UI. We're going to answer some few questions which we're going to answer. So let's add it here. So we're going to use TypeScript. Let's use default, let's use slave. So we're going to use slc stars. So that's global. .css. So I want to check something. Okay. Global CSS. So yes, we're going to use CSS variable ranked, and we're going to change this to table.config.mjs. We're going to use components. We're going to use lib utility server side component now. Yes. So you should initialize and add all dependency inside. So it has successfully initialized our components inside our package. So we should have the style inside here. And we should have our component and lib folder here. So the next step to do is to import the global CSS into our index.astro. So just copy that and come over here and paste this. So once you've done that, we need to also add some few config into Tailwind. So come over to your where we see astro config.mjs, and inside here let's open a bracket and okay. So let's replace it. Let's make sure to replace this with this. So making the app base title first. So once we are done with that, we should also update the paths because Shadcn UI of the change the content type and African. Then update it. Astro is here and everything. Okay, it's okay. There's no point changing it again. Everything is okay. So let's save that. So next thing to do now is to add our button in our Shadcn project. Astro project, I mean to say. So let's add this and let's add the button. We should add into our components folder. So it has added fully. So what we're going to do is to go into our index.astro. And let's add in the button. So we're going to come inside here and let's update this to use this. And let's make sure to import this. So if you have Astro as extension, it will to show properly. But I don't have Astro as an extension in my VSCode. So I'll just paste this. So to test that let me CSS is working, let's add a session. So I'm going to add a class name. Not a class name, a class. I'm going to put in the width full. Then I'm going to add in the flags. Items and center, enter center, and justify center. You save that and let's change this from hello world to Santis DI UI with Astro. So once you save this, so now what we're going to do now is to run the application. So to add the button, we've added the button, but we can also know that when we want to add an Shadcn UI component, we can add multiple like the button and tab, or we can simply say all to add everything at once. So we've added a button into here. So let's look at how the button look like inside the component. So once you open component UI folder, you'll see that Shadcn UI is making use of Redux UI. And if you see, it also provided us with a component here what we are calling out in our package in our index, and it gives us variants, different variants, default, descriptive, outline, secondary, which is easily to customize. You can come over here and add your preferred variant, save that, and you can come over here and just put in variants. And you can set in your primary or whatever you want. So let me quickly install the Astro extension. So I've added it. I've added the Astro extension. Just search for this. And the first one, this is it here. So let's go back to our code base. And once it is, I can actually press this and see the new variant added coming up in the autocomplete. So that is how Shadcn UI component works. So you also provide the size and also the default variant. So let's try out some of the size. Let's try some of the props in our index. So I'll come over here and let me start with the size. I'll set the size to large. So once this is it, let's save this project. And let's say one dev. So let's load our server. So let's open. So it's giving us a syntax error. Comparing that. And that so the border class doesn't exist. The border one custom claim. We need to define everything the script or whatever. So let's go back to our code base and see how to fix this. So let's come to our global style. We should ask for border. It's a little bit bigger. So why is it giving error? That does not exist. Okay. So let's fix this. So to fix it is simply very simple. We have Tailwind config mjs twice. So what you can do is to come over to the top one and copy everything here, come to the bottom one and paste it. So this is the one Astro recognized. So when you paste it, once you paste it, update the path to use Astro HTML, CSS, CSS, and view. Then once you've done that, just delete it. Delete this and I'm gonna go to my style and once we've done that, you see that it's not much showing error anymore. It has stopped showing error. So we can now look at our project and see that the button is working now. Shadcn UI is set up and Tailwind CSS is set up correctly. So we're going to go and look at how to include the variant. So I'll go back to my code base and let me close this. Let's go into the pages folder and index. So let's add in variant. The first one we're going to test is the descriptive. So once you save that, let's preview that. We should see that the component, you see that the button component here is turned to red, which signifies danger. So for the destructive, if you go over to change it to ghost, so selected ghost. If I save that and I preview that, we should see the button does not have any style attached to it. Then lastly, we can also look at the outline. We should see that the borderline is being displayed around it. So this signifies that it's an outline button. So alright, so now that you've understood how we can import and install Shanty UI into our Astro project, you can also use it for other components if you want to use it in your project. So you've learned how we do it with the button. So it's similar to how we can do it with other components that Shanty UI provide us with. So let's see how we can get Shanty UI working in Next.js. So the first thing we're going to do is to install or create our Next app. So what I'm going to do is to paste this. So let me extend this so we can see clearly. So what I did here was, to write npx create next app at latest. So my app. So I'm going to clear this my app to use the current directory I'm using. This is the putting period. So TypeScript and Tailwind with ESLint. So I'll just pressing enter. So let's add in yes. Okay. So let me change this to app since this does not accept Nextjs capital letter. So am I going to use the source directory? Let's say yes or no. Man, I don't like using the source directory. Let me say no. So am I going to use the app router? Do you want to customize the aliases now? So let it install. So you should install all the Nextjs packages. So once it has installed completely, the next thing to do is to initialize our Shanty UI. So which I'm going to Shanty UI packages and initialize it. And it's going to ask us some few questions, which we'll answer here. So let's wait for some minutes. Don't know why it gave this error. Okay. So I need to navigate to my app directory. Then I'll just add this. So if you ask us the first question, your default the CSS variable and that's install most of there's no dependency. So Shanty UI is quick more quicker in Nextjs package. Nextjs framework. Nextjs framework. Nextjs. So once it has completely initialized, it should bring out this success message. So let's clear our terminal and the next step to do is to let's go into our app directory and open folder and page. So let's close this and let's clear everything here. Let's clear everything. So so I'm going to leave this let's width equal full and we're going to give it a height of screen. Then inside it we are going to put in our text. So once we save, let's remove the image. So we're not going to use that. So the next step to do is to run our server to confirm that Tailwind status is working. So I'm going to npm run dev. So npm run dev. We should load our server for us. So localhost 3000. So it's loading our server. It's trying to compile the code with. So we should see that Tailwind CSS is working. I think because I didn't put justify center. So let me add justify center to it. You see that the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, is working fine. So the next thing to do is to add Shanty UI button to Nextjs. So let's come here and end our server. So I've ended our server, and the next thing to do, let me clear terminal. So I'm going to add in, to add in our button. So we're going to type in npm Shanty UI latest add button. So we should add our button into our component folder. So you can also add multiple components at the same time. Like this, you can add button tabs at the same time, or you can actually just put in add all to add all of the components Shanty UI has. So let's go into our button components and see how. Okay, so we should notice that Shanty UI, you make use of the Redux UI in building this button component. If you scroll down, you can see where the button component is being initialized and when it's passed to the export. So simple React component. So what you do is you can also look at the variants it provides us with. It has the default variant, destructive, outline, secondary, ghost. You can. One thing I love about Shanty UI is the flexibility. You can come over here and put in your own variant, save this, and you can make use of this in the component. So let's go into the page folder and let's take this and let's add in our button. So let's import the button and let's put it. So if I open variant, we can see the primary component, the primary variant that we added, the custom variant we added is reflecting here. So that is the beauty of using Shanty UI, being able to customize it the way you prefer. So I'm going to start with the size. So we have both the default icon and large. So if I save this to large and let's preview it. So before preview, let's make sure to run our server. It's already on our server. So let's preview it. So let's preview it. So I'll be loading the browser to get the latest update. So we can see the button as is displayed at the center of the window. Be the default color black. So we can change the variant the way we want it. We have various variants we can select from. So I'm going to come over here and put in variants of destructive. And if I save that, we can see that the button has actually changed to red. So another option of the variants we look into is the no is the ghost, which is simply no styling Shanty UI to remove any style added to the button. So if we save this and preview it, we should see that the subscribe to the channel does not have any style attached to it. So it's just a simple text. And the last one we have is we have the link and the outline. So we can check out the outline and we can see that it has given the outline button has the border around the button. So this is how to use Shanty UI component in your project. It's exactly the same way you will use it with other components. If you want to add like the carousel or any other apps, any other components, it's just very simple. Just go over to the dock and install the particular component you want to use. So let's move on to the next one, which is our main project. We're going to be working with Nextjs. All right. So, like I said earlier, we're going to move on to build the project that we wanted to build, building our project with Shanty UI. So, we're going to be building a simple project, which is the Tailwind clone. This is just a simple UI, which has not much functionality. Just trying to explain how to use the Shanty UI, and also you can switch from dark tool and light mode. So we are using Nextjs 14, and also remember that there is no functionality. This is just a simple UI. So most of the resources for this project has been moved to added to the link, to the GitHub link, which I put it in the description below. So once you go to the GitHub, you can look at the asset folder to see most of the icons. And inside some of the components, you will see, inside the app directory, you should see some data that I added there. You can come over here and just copy them. I think it should be inside the component. So like the left sidebar, you should see most of this data. You can just come here and copy most of this. So that is pretty much it. So let's get into the video. So first thing first is we're going to go into the app directory and go into the layout. So what I want to do here is, so first of all, change in the font. So I'm going to use the organize and just change all this. Let's set this to, so once we've changed this, the next step to do is to add in some of our background components. So I'll just put in come over here and add this. So this will give it the main height, a background white, and in a dark mode it's going to give us a background black. So this is primarily the color. So I want also us to also update the theme. Okay, we can go on with this, and later on we'll change the styling that I and where is this, in the style file, global file. I'm going to change this too. So we can, once we've done that, we should come over to our component folder and let's create in, let me call it navbar.ts. So I'm going to create in a boiler as component code. And once you've created it, just copy it, come over to the layout, and let's add it here. So once you've added that, you need to import we need to import it. So let's import it. If we want to import it, we need to add in a main. So to differentiate the navbar from the main content part of it. So what I did here was to add a navbar. Then for the main, I put a relative pattern top 60 and enlarged pattern top 70. Flex and flex item centered. The width and the maximum width and justify between. So I will save that. So let us make our server to keep on running. So I'm going to put in npm on dev and close it. So inside our nav component, we are going to put in restart with the nav here. So let me drag in the asset folder that I told you guys to copy from the GitHub here. So I've added the asset folder here. So the next step for me to do is for us to set in the top layer of our code base. So I'll just come over inside here. So what I did here was to set in the name, set it fixed, the navbar to be fixed, and put a Z index with top to top. The background color should be dark on dark mode. Should be black on dark mode. The padding, okay, the padding top and bottom, and a border bottom. Then here I add a maximum with default. So this maximum with default was something I added first time. So I'll just come inside. So to get to see this, I'll just go let me come inside my global.css and let me add this. So so once I add that, I will need to also update the Tailwind CSS config to let them know that I've added this. So I will come down here. Let me come down to the bottom and then add this. So it's going to be using my 1400 pixel as the maximum width for each of them. So what I'm going to do here next is to add in our logo. So we're going to add in our logo. So I'm going to come over here and then let's paste this. So I'm going to import a link. So this is going to be our logo, taking a flex one, first column, first item, justify center, and also a link. So once we click on our logo, it should take the person to code. So I'll just put in some things here. So I'm going to add in our logo here. Let me put this here. I'm going to comment this. I'm going to use this when it is dark mode. You should use the light. So let me use this one instead. So the logo is gotten from the asset folder inside the public. We have two logo here, logo and logo dark. Dark is for the light mode. This is the white one for the dark is for the light mode. This one is for the dark mode. So if we save this and let's preview this. So let's run the server. I've tried to run my own, but I'm having some error here. Also, so I noticed that this is because we are using SVG and we're displaying it as a component. So what we need to do is to end the server and install npm a dev dependency. Install so we're going to install srg package. So let me paste that quickly. So let's add this. So while it's installing, we need to create a file called svgrd. So let's create a file while it is installed svgr. svgr .d.ts. And when we're done, just paste it. Let's paste this inside it. So let's run npm run dev again. And make sure the navbar is in the lab is in the layout. So it's running. So let me refresh this. Still showing some error. So let me look at it. Let me see how to fix that. So it's still showing some error here. So I just try to restart my server to see why it is showing the error. So you can see it's still showing the error. Let me comment this out and it's working fine. Let's see what else is the problem again. So I've tried it with other ways, but it seems not to work. But I think the only option that I omitted was to update the next config. So let's paste this. So let's add the image because this is the host you're going to use on the image, and let's add in the webpack so that Nextjs we understand that we added SGVR. So let's save that and let me run this. So I'm running it. So it has compiled. It's working fine. Let me change the logo for this is the light one. Let me use the dark one. So I've saved that and let me preview it. Trying to refresh to see that the changes was made. So we see that the logo has appeared correctly with the nav and everything. So we need to complete that with. So let's go into the navbar. We have some other things to add inside here, which we're going to use to update the navbar. So let's say we're going to talk about how to implement the search. So I'm just going to simply just come over to here and let me just paste this. So this is search bar. We have the first one hidden by default when it's mobile responsive, mobile view, and then inline to visit. Then we have the form. So we're using the form to design the input. If I save this and let's preview this, and let's not preview this. Let's complete it first. So let's see, and this thing's working fine. So what we're going to do next is to add the input. So I'm going to add the input inside the form here. So the input is from Shadcn, so we need to add inputs. So let's come over to our terminal. Let's create a new terminal. Let's do nps Shadcn. So npx Shadcn latest. To add the input component. I've added the input. Let's import that. So what we did here was to add name, size, row, autocomplete, whatever. Then the class name, we have the flex one, flex normal, visibility, font with 0, tracking, Vite. This is letter spacing, height, the text, the inline height, the border, transparent, outline now, padding and width, and the text color. Then we add the placeholder color. We had the typing color, the font, the mouse appearance now. Then we do group by over here because we added group here. So when when form is group, if we hover over the form, it will add other one to it here, and also group over program white with shadow. So let's continue. We're going to add in two other components, which is the inside we're going to put in the search, and we're going to put in the button. And let's import search component. So what this does is that it does display the icon for us, the search SVG, and we give it a color of black, dark. When it is dark, when the theme is dark, we should use this color. When it is light, we should use this color. Then here we give it a padding of 11 pixels, top, right, bottom, left. The same thing for margin, -12, -16, -12. So then we give the cursor pointer. Then we give the background of transparent. Then for this pan, we add one. This is also a divider. 1 pixel with the height, the margin, top and bottom, background color 10, and then background color. When on dark, we should use this white up with opacity. So this is it for the search. So the last one to add here is for us to add the right side. So this is the last search for search. So let's add this here. This should take in our drop down for the toggle. Then also, so we're going to paste this here. Let's import these icons. So what does this thing do is we have the flex, one flex horizontal, we made it horizontal, and also set it to justify and to position the components, most of this component to the ending of the screen. Then we give it the send. This super is I made it absolute, where we show the notification number of messages sent, or number of something sent, whatever. So we have the top minus top left, the font self bold, text small, text center, rounded temp pixel, the border, and text white with minimum width and height. Similarly to the same thing with the message on. So if we save this and let's preview this. So we should see this as appear. This is still showing white, so we need to look at why is it showing, and this is still showing border. When we click on it, it should not show border, and this should be white, and this thing should not be black, it should be red. So let's go and look at it. So let's come here and see why it did not show red. So we need to copy this. So this is the reason why I didn't copy it show red, and then the search input. We need to make the border so I think I need to remove this. Let me put in this. So let me just leave it like this. Then the last thing we're going to add is we're going to add the avatar. So come over to here, this place, and then let's paste this. So we're going to add the avatar comp. So let's open our terminal and let's install it. Let's add avatar. So once we've added the avatar components, we can import the avatar from the UI. Let's import everything. So for this URL to work, we need to add it in our Next.js config. So make sure you add your image URL here so that you're able to see it. So let's go back to our navbar. Let's save this and let's preview this and see how the result is. So you can see that we already have this, but this is still having to fix something. So I'll look at why the search icon is not displaying properly. But this tree is working fine and everything is working fine. So let's go and look at why the search icon is showing white when on night mode. So on night mode should show 400, on dark mode text source 300. Okay. So it's not specifying the dark mode it should use. So let's look at this. I don't know why the input is still showing. So let me look at what did it for the input. Okay, border inputs. So let me go back to my navbar and then so let me just leave it as 0. So this I think is depends on our red mode and dark mode. So we're going to look at this in the next lesson. So let's look at our. So I've noticed where the problem is coming from on the input, why the borderline is always showing. So I looked at it inside the input component and I noticed because of this, the focus visibility ring of was set to a value. So what I did was to set it to 0 and so that it will not show any border or any border shadow for me. So if we look at the board for the search, reason why the search is not coming out is because we've not set a theme. So it's actually not going to work clearly. So let me just set this thing to black and we should see it to check if it's going to pop out. Make sure your server is running and let's go over to the browser. So if you notice that it didn't show off because by default I think the icon is white. So when we set the theme, we are going to look at how to type this, how to fix this. So let's go over to working on the sidebar. So let's go over to our code base. And let me return this to 40 pixel. 40. So what we're going to do now is to open our sidebar and let's create a component called a sidebar. So I've created my boilerplate code. So the next thing now is to add our sidebar into the layout folder where we have a. So let me quickly change this from sidebar to left sidebar because we have the right sidebar. And let me clear this. So it's called the left sidebar. So I'm going to copy this and come over to the layout. And what we see, we should add it here. And make sure to import it from the just over it and click import this side. Then I want to also change this so to separate it from the left sidebar. So once we do that, we should go over to our left sidebar and let's start giving out the one. So I'm going to get some I'm going to put in the div inside and add some styling here. So let's add some styling. So what I did here was to set it hidden on mobile view, left and flag on flex. So I made it relative width full, maximum width to 500 pixel and height to auto. Then I come over here to say width full, maximum width. Same thing, overflow hidden to give it a scroll bar, padding top. Then overflow y as auto to make it a scroll, then add over scroll content and the perspective transform. All these are not even needed. So I just added it here to origin right top, yeah, top position to be top 60 pixel, bottom 0, and make it fixed with a Z index of 99 and padding right to 8 pixel. So we should also have to center most of the. So come over to here. Let me break this down so it will be easy to see. And let's open this. So what we're going to do is to add another div. Is to add another div and make it a maximum width of 80%. So I want it to be in align with where the logo is. Marks the margin X auto. Center it, the padding left to. Then we've added enough the list. So the list is going to give us most of the list we're going to get. So we're going to set up some of the. Let's get this down. So what these do is to give us we're going to put in the li the link. So let's add import this and the button. So well the home. So let's import the home icon. So I've already so I'm going to import that from, let me call it home icon, from the public folder assets /home 2 and save that. So on the bottom, what I did here is to add in flex item center space x3 text primary, then padding 0 and issue snap link, even though I add the variant link here. I don't want it to have on the line. It's then for the home icon, then I set this to class text LG font bold. Then so the next thing we're going to do is to add in another li component, and then let me add it like this. So what I did here is to add in a link again. So I made this a link, this a button. So you can use link or use the button. So what I did here was to same thing, reflex item center space s3 dark mode. You should change it to text gray 400. Then also for the same thing, text large font semi bold. So let's import the user. So we can import this user from. You can actually use Lucy UI. There's a package that is already installed by Shanty UI, which is UI. If you open this, you can import this here, and you can get you can use UC UI, or we can have the following icon. Following icon. If you want to, we can import that. Let's see. From public following. So you can decide to comment this, and let's use this and let's see how it looks like. So once you save, the next thing we do is to add in a horizontal border line, a divider. You need to imagine y array top and bottom and the background, a border color, and if it's dark it should not show any border color. So if I save this and let's preview this, so this is how it shows. This is as it shows. So what we're going to do now is to change it back to use the blue CUI, because this is not actually showing any color. I think unless we change the color to it. So let me go back and change this. So let's go back to the code base. I think if I set it to gray, let's gray. Let me add it and let me. So it's very not showing. Let's use the Lucy UI. Let's see. Before I do that, let me set it to black first. So I need to check this if this works. Let me it's the icon is not actually showing, it's not actually working. Let me see. So by default is white. I can come here and change this to current color. And save this. So once I save this, you can preview it. You should see that it's actually showing now because of the color. The current color added to the. Also for the search, I can do that too for the search. Let's see for the search. So for the search, let's add the current color to it. So by default, it's using white. Let's set it to current color. And once we preview it, we can see the icon is actually showing now. You can see the icon is actually showing now. So let's go and align this to use this. Okay, let's go and fix this from this spacing that's been added to it here. So let's go to make it from the top where I added the. So if I set this to 90 or 100, if you see that it has preview, it's under it. So let's see. Let's continue. So what we're going to do now is to add in some of the suggestion under it. So I'm going to add in a new section which takes in a list of. It's going to be around under this. So I'm going to just add it simple. So I added a section. Measurement top 1, text black 70, dark mode text white 60. So on dark mode, then text 12 pixel tracking 0.02, which is a letter spacing. font bold margin B. So I've added the suggestion account. So then for the URL I added space Y and space Y4. So to add spacing between up and down. If you look at however you see margin up and down. So one was there is to paste in this code. So what this does is to have a list where we have the relative list item space X item center space S3 image image. So let me just import the image first of all from Nextjs Nextjs image. So let me just come over here and add it here. So it should stop the error from there. So I've added a source, the name of the div. We have a div here, which has the flex column. So we're separating the image and this content here, making the li a flex and making them to be horizontal. So for the h4, I added a text color, and on dark mode you should use white. Then flex item center gaps to font bold and line height to 19.5 pixel. Then added in account name, the account.verify. Then I need to import the batch. Let me import this batch icon. So I've imported the batch icon. Then for the username, I added text black 70 and make it important. Then also for the white, important font normal, text small. So what we need to do now is to add in some of the suggested accounts. If you go over to the GitHub link below, you should see the data I added if you go to the left sidebar. So I'm going to just copy that and paste it here. So once you go to you should see on the left sidebar, you should see suggested accounts. Then you see some names and images that I've added. There is some verified through image source. So let me scroll down and check everything is correct. And let's preview this. So once I preview it, you can see that it is showing properly the way we want it. I know the spacing here is not much. You need to add some spacing. So we're going to add that. You should see that everything is aligned with the verify showing the badge and the name and the username on this light mode. So let's go over to our code again and let's add in the next section, which is we're going to add in the following section. Following section is going to be under this section. So let me add that here. It's similar to what we have with the suggestion section. So just the same thing, text black 70, dark mode 60, white text Y60, text size 12 pixels, tracking 0.07 rem, font bold and margin bottom. And also for the URL, we are going to also add in just exactly the same thing we did for the suggested. So inside here, we are going to also import pasting some code the same way with the suggested, having the flex item and flex item center space x3 images, the h5 the same way, and the username. This is it. Font bold, the line height, the text color, and also on dark mode issue have a text white color. On dark mode you should have a text color, but on light mode you should have a text 0903. So once I save this, also go to the sidebar to get the font following account, the data for it, following account. So I'll just copy my and let me paste it here. Let me scroll up here and paste it below it. So everything is set. So it's just similar to the same thing. Name, username, image source, verify first. Name, username, image source. Name, username, image source, fonts, and the name. So I'll just come over here and let's preview this. So before we preview that, we need to also show some things here, which I'm going to bring it in here. So before we go over here, this place, we need to add in under the suggestion. We need to add in this. So we need to add in a see all button where we have the text primary, the font to be semi-bold, the margin top to inline height box block, height auto, padding 0, BJ transparent. So it's just similar. I'm using ghost button to make it show add no style to it. So then I add my own style by myself. So once I save this, also I added the same horizontal line here, which I add here, added here. So let's save it and let's preview this again. So if you look at it, you can see the following is showing down here. The CO. So we need to add the CO for the following here. For the following on, everything is working fine. The scrolling is only for the main content. So let's go back to our code and let's add in the CO button for the following. It's just the same thing with the following. So the same thing with the suggested. So I've just come over here where we have section. Let me look at it's under the URL. Let me press this. So just the same thing, using a primary color, text primary, font, semi-bold, line as box, block, H auto, PO, background transparent. You can also use primary for and let's set this. Okay. So let's see this. This is showing the primary fog is white. Let me set it to primary. So you should see it showing the CO here. The CO here. So we are done with the sidebar. What is left now is to do the main content and also the right sidebar. So we're going to be looking at the main content. So let's come over to the component folder and let's create in the main content .tx. So let's create this. So what happened is to take the main content, let's come into our page folder where we have this, and we're going to remove this button now. So let's remove this button. So we're going to import our main content inside here. So under here, we're going to add in some classes here. Let me just add it Let me add div. So I'm going to just copy this. So let's just add this here. So just remove the class name and let me paste this. So let me explain what this is all about. So what this does is it give us the flex relative overflow hidden. Give us the height. So it's calculated based on the 100 VH minus the nav bar height. Then on the large, it does this. So this is for the mobile view. This is for the live. So once we've done that, we need to drag in some dummy data into here where we're going to pass into the main contents. So I'm going to come over here, and if you go over to the GitHub link, you should open your lib folder and you should see something called the dummy data. So I'm going to move in my here. So I'm going to move in something here. What do you call it? Dummy. So this is like all posts. The post are a full name, username, pics, caption, video URL, the like, the comment, the bookmark, the share 423, the comments. Then we also have like about 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 5 comments or 4. So we're going to use this to loop through. We're going to use it to loop through the. So let's use it to loop through the. Come over to your main content and then. No, not inside the main content. Let's come over to this here, this place. And what we're going to do is we're going to loop through it. Okay, so we're going to loop through the um, this dummy data here. So what I'm going to do is to import it. So let's import that. All posts. So let me come over here. This is um the so what we're going to do now is to look through the all. Let's look through it. So what we did here is to add in a div flex with the item stretch default and justify stretch. So you should take the whole height of this particular height that we have here. Then I gave it a class name to LG flex 0.8 and also a width and height here. Then this is the main content. So we need to go and add in some content in the main. I'll add it should go into the main and let's add in our props. So what we're going to do here is to get all of this, the video source, the like, the comment, so we're going to get the comment and everything. So what I'm going to do here is just to come up, go inside the main content now. And let me add this here is so the error should stop. The error stop. Now let's build in the main content where we're going to display the video since we have the data now to showcase most of all this. So the first thing first we're going to do is to provide the div where we're going to hold our video. So I'm going to just paste this. Let me come over here and place the div. So the first is width full, relative flex, item center, justify, and minimum height full, flex, justify center. So this is to center both of them and to position them to the end. So we have flex center, gap 5, height 580 pixel, overflow hidden, width full, maximum width large. Then this is what is going to hold the video. We have the width auto height and the maximum width 70%. Background gray 900, large, the rounded large, the border, the my mistake here. It should be large, border gray 500 and overflow hidden. So the next thing we're going to do is for us to showcase the video. So I'm going to put in the video here inside here. So let's also make this to come out nice. Video source, likes, comments, bookmark, shares. So let's save that, and we should see the video source mute by default loop, play inline, autoplay, and full width height of object content. Let me change this to object cover, object center, and also giving it. Right, so let's preview this and see what we've done. So we're going to do is to, before we preview, let's look at it. So let's preview it. So we can look at, this is what it's showing. So we need to find a way to make this to not show only this to take the full width. This and this to be hidden. So I think it's horizontally aligning them horizontal way. So let's fix this. So to fix that, we're going to go over to the page. And what I want us to add here is to add in this. So let me uncomment this to make it to stay. Should not, because this we are putting flex here, should not make all of them horizontal. Instead, it should just take, this one should take the full width of every of the item listed should take the full width. So also I added a class here which take the 100 VH. So this is what we saw before, but this is the recent one I added. Padding bottom 1, padding top 0, large, padding top 1 with full width and 100 VH. So let me save that and try it out. So you should see it is centered properly. So the next thing to do is to add in the other floating icons here, floating buttons here. So let me go over to the code back. So what I'm going to do here is to come over to, not to the page, but inside the main content. We're going to add in some information here. So here we're going to add in this. So what we did here is to add in so we add in a div with absolute right 5, bottom 5 relative. So on large it should be right 0, large bottoms 0. So we also add in a div flex. So make them to line up, flex column, item start, justify end, position them to the end, height full, space, top and bottom, y 4. Then let's import the button. So I'm using the button here. So I'm calling the button. So I put boost here. Then width, auto height, auto flex, flex column, because we're having two things inside here. Then item center, padding 0, font bold, and background transparent. So on this span, we make it is a circle that takes in the heart icon. So we have the flex, justify center, item center, text black, then text white on dark mode, round full, transaction all, duration 200, easy in out, cursor pointer, width 12, height 12, background and dark we should use light white, then margin top 2, margin bottom do 1.5. So when we do this, we should pass in the likes here. So we've added the likes. So let's import the heart icon. Public slash asset slash heart. So let's save that. So there are other couple of buttons we're going to add. We're going to add for the we have the like. We are going to add for some other buttons that we want to show. I think the next one we're going to add is going to be the comment button. So let's add the comment button. Let's go back down to where we'll add the comment. And after the button here, we should add in another button. So we're using the same styling for all. So just the comments, the icons are different. So let me import the icon. Comment. So let me just copy this. So once we've copied that, the next thing to do is to add in another one. Add in the one for bookmark. So let's go down to where we have bookmark to here. So let's put a space here and add this. So same using the same styling. There's just bookmark. So I'm going to change this to bookmark icon. So let's preview and see what we've done. So let's see that the error is cleared out. So if we look at it, we can see the icons are showing properly. So the last thing to add there is the share button. But now the share button is going to use a drop down. So you're going to have to install a package called so let's add in for the share button. We want to make the share icon a drop down and like a drop down menu that showcase items when we click on it, like embedded code or billing. So what we are going to do now is to add in the menu, the drop down menu. So So we are going to change the button from using a normal button to using a drop down that Shanti UI provide us with. So what you can do here is to remove this, and I'm going to paste it. So I'll explain this for us. So let me play very well. So before we go on looking at it, let's install the drop down component. So what we're going to do here is to come here, and once you type in this, then press your enter and it should install the package for you. So so it sharply install the package for you. So once it has installed successfully, the next thing to do is to let's go over, close this, and let's look at this. So what I did here was to showcase the a drop down menu. This is like the wrapper for the entire drop down. Then this trigger is like the button. So I'm just using the same way I did this button here, where we have the class with auto, just the same class here is what I put here. It's what I've set here. And also the span that get the hood over the icon and the share. So let me start importing the one after the other from the UI. So I'll import the trigger, many trigger. So once I've imported this here is the drop down menu content. This is the content that what we show when we trigger, when we click on the drop down menu trigger. So once we click on that, let me import that. So what I did here was to show a width of 56, padding white 3. Dark mode should have a background gray 800. On the dark mode, you should have text white. Then text gray 700. This will be on the light mode, and border none. Then I position it to the end. So this here is the items that is inside that the main contents house. So what I did here is just simply to just style it, the text, 16 pixel, cursor pointer, and then font semi-bold. This is what I did for all of them. Embed, send to friends, send to WhatsApp, send to Facebook, and copy link. So once we save that, and let's preview this. Once we preview this, we should see this. So think, let me go and fix this share icon showing bookmark. So I just quickly went ahead to fix this from showing. Let me refresh this. Okay, just come up. So what we'll do is when you click on the share icon, it should bring out a pop-up here with the text, the contents I've added inside it. These are the items inside the contents. And on the light mode, because this is a white background, we have the black dark text and the pop-up is white. So we're going to move over to doing the right side of the main inside the main content too. So let's go ahead and work on the right side. So let's start working on this right sidebar. If you look at the left sidebar and also the main content. So the next thing to look at is right sidebar. So let's go over to the code base. And what we're going to do here is to create a file and the components called the right sidebar. So let's come over here and let's click on this and let's call it the right sidebar.ts. So once you have done, let's make sure to create a simple component inside of it. Let's press enter, save. So it's coming to the pages folder. The pages page. So after this, let's import our right sidebar. So we're going to pass in some props to the right sidebar, the full name, pixel, username, caption, and comment. So let's import this. So we've imported it. So let's go back to the right sidebar and let's add in a pop. So before I go, let me first for come to the main content. Let me scroll up and let me import this. Let me just copy this. Let's go back to the right and let's paste this. So we're going to start writing our own. So I'm going to come over there and write the full name. So let's start with the full name. Let me just paste it everything here. So Constance. So let's inside the return. I'm going to pass in some contents inside there. So what we're going to do here, let me move this away, is we're going to set an hidden LG inline block relative and then flex 0.7. If you come over to the page, we added for the main content has 0.8. So while for the right side I have 0.7. Then we add in the widthful, heightful, text one, perspective one pixel, transform style. These are not needed. It's not even needed here. But I just added it. But we have the padding right 8 pixel. And we have the maximum width for it to be 90 percentage. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to show the image, and we're going to show the image here, the user profile image, the profile name, the username, and the follow button. So let me just paste this. So let me get this. So let me explain this. So from here, let me comment. Let me just collapse all this. So here, what we did was to add a padding and the space between top and bottom. Then here we set a div to set this to a column, flex column item center. Then inside here is where we show the first information, the image and the full name, the username and the follow button. So here we have the width flex center justify between. So we separated them with the button, this and the button. So this button we make them justify between. So they align together. The inside here we have the flex item center. So make them to flex horizontally. Then here we have the images. So let's bring in the pix and the full name. So also with the username, save that. And so the images we put a width of 50 and the class to rounded full. So let me import the image. Let me import the image. So I've imported the image from the next image. So we give it width of 50, height 50, class rounded full. Then for the user information, personal information, we have the first name, full name. I mean, so here we have flex item center gap 2, font semi bold leading 11.5 pixel and margin 0. So I don't think all these ones is in that right. So here we have text 40. Let me remove this. text black 40, dark text white, dark mode we have text weight of 70, and font normal with text small. So if you finish this top part of it, yeah, we'll look at the follow button. So we have a button where we need to import from the Shanty UI. Then this button has a variant of default. Then the for size default. Then we have the flex item center gap 1 width 0, margin left auto, pixel padding left and right, padding top and bottom, and then border 2. Border primary. We have a text white. When hover it should be a primary. When hover it should text white and rounded full. So let's import this plus icon. So we have imported the plus icon. Then we have the follow button. So below here we have other contents we need to display. We have the flex column gap, put the gap to 2. Then this is just simply to just show the caption. And on dark mode it should show white. Then this is, before we go on, let's come over and bring in the caption. So for the music the person is listening to, the person use, we have the flex item center text 14 pixel, dark mode we have text white 80, then font medium gap 2. So this music icon, I don't have the SVG, so what I did was to import it from the Lucy React, which and Shanty UI install for us. So I should import from show it. So let's import that from Lucy React. I should stop. Okay, so once we've added it, so we should see the username, the name, the follow button, the caption, and the icon with the artist name or music. So the next thing to do is to add in the comments. So we're going to, let's go over to our code base and let's add in the comments. So what we need to do here to add the comment, we should come to this place and let's collapse this. And I'm going to bring in some code inside here. This is similar to the heading we have on the left sidebar. So let's save this. So we're giving it HL bubble border color and the border none on dark mode. So we have the width and then we have the comment. So what we're going to do next is to add in the comments which we provide from the prop, and this is going to be loop through. So we're going to add a div around it. So let me put this inside here and let's paste this. So I'm going to explain this now. So what we did here was we have a class with full height 330 pixel maximum height. Then we have the overflow, just similarly to make the comment to be able to be scrollable. Then space y1 padding right 4. So we look through the comments. So this comment is from here. Let me import that. So once we've imported the comments, we should put should have a div inside there which that wraps the entire comment of a single comment. So we have flex and a space horizontal for that is for the right and left. Then we have the relative and flex s- string to 0. Then we're placing the image image source, the avatar, the width, height. We set it to rounded full. Then below it we have the flex. So we have the flex one. So this one should take a larger portion of the space between the image and the content here. So the content takes a larger space. So we now have flex item center justify between. So if we open this, we have only we just show the username of the user with a font saying semi bold text 14, text black 70, dark mode text white 70. So yeah, what we did here is just to show the heart, the like, the number of like, the comment like. So we have a ghosty size icon. The class name we are having flex item center, space left and right, and height 0, padding 0, border none, background transparent. Then we do a check if the comment like is inactive. If the comment is like is active, let's set it to a primary color. Else let's set it to black 80 and hover text black 70 and dark text gray 400. So let's change this into gray because our primary color now is black. So in order to see this, let's change it to 500, gray 500. Let's save that. So let's import the hats from Lucy UI, Lucy React. So for the hats, just set the field to current color, stroke to 0, then class name to width 55 and h5 with flex string 0. Then we added uh, the number of likes with the size text font size to be 12 pixel. So when you come below it, this just show the content of the comment, the black mode text, white 90 text, 15 pixel for the font. Then the button is just to show the reply ability, and the variant here is link. Make the text small, the text black 50, dark mode text white, underline, and then pixel 0. So let's save this and then preview this. So I'm going to preview this and we should see the comments have been listed here. This one is the one that's active. So look at this is the reply button, this is the reply button, this is the caption, this is the username. I mean the contents of the comments. So what we're going to do now is to just go over and add in the comments input. So if we come over here, I'm going to bring in the code for the input one. Then I'm going to explain that. So beside this, we are going to add in. Let me come here and then collapse this. So let me paste this inside here. So what this does is it shows a div class with flex center, space left and right, margin top 2. Then similar to the one we have with the form as such, we have the form with the flex right and center gap with width to full. Then we have the background color white, dark background. On the dark mode we have a background color of gray 900, height system padding top and bottom, padding left and right, and rounded 15 pixel. We have the border 2, width 2, and dark mode we have border gray 800. So if I open this, so we have the comments icon. This is similar to what we have in the search where we create a vertical line, a divider for to separate the icon from the text input. So it's similar to what I did here. This is the icon, this is the separator or the divider, and this is the input. So let's import the comments icon. So let me import this. So if you import the comments icon class name text, then we should have the divider, then the input. So this input, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this to dark mode. Then the default season should be black. 90. So we have the video transparent outline now. Text black, text white. So let's save this and then preview this. So we should see the comments here, and once we type in, it's not showing. Okay, it's showing now. So you can see that the text is showing black, dark, and everything's working fine now. So the next thing we are going to do is to add a theme and also add a carousel. So we can switch between different posts or different posts that the user have added, what we've added in the dummy data. So let's go ahead and look at that. So we're going to go ahead and work on the theme. So before going to the theme, we want to add in a different component which is called a carousel. So I want to update something else before implementing the carousel. So yeah, I want to add in change this from using a maximum full width. So maximum default. Then I pass in just to position them. Okay, so then come to the left sidebar and let's scroll down and let me set this to full. Also for the right sidebar, let me set this to full. So if you come to the browser, what happened here is that the positioning is now okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add carousel, Shanty carousel in our project. So what we need to do is to come up here and add and open our terminal. Then to do that, you can head over to Shanty UI or quickly just paste this code here. This is to add the carousel to our project. So once you press enter, it should come up with, it should add it, to give it some few minutes to add it. And when we are done, we can be able to use it in our project. So it's asking me to, okay, so I've already installed it. Let me just override it. Let's show install carousel in our project. And once it's done, we should be able to use it in our project. So once it's before it's done, let's go over to our page. This is where we're going to use the carousel. So we're going to be changing some few things here. Oh, actually it is done now. So let's just close our terminal and let's come over to this place. So what I want to do here is I'll change some few things. So I'm going to paste in some things here. I'm going to put in some code here. So this is a carousel. This is a carousel content. So inside this content, I'm going to move in all my code inside the content. So once I move that, then let me close the carousel tag, and let's import it. So I'm going to explain to you guys what actual this is, and let's import the content too. Let's import the content. Just select that. So what I did here was simply to replace this div. So let's remove this div. This div, a class, is what I'm putting in this carousel. So what I want the carousel to be vertical instead of horizontal, and I want to align start. So let me remove this div. So for the content is actually just taking the width and the height, so it match with the height of the main element. So, and also on large screen the same way we have it here, and margin 0 with b0. So that is it for content. So another thing we're going to do here is to change this div. So we are not going to use the div anymore. We're going to change it to another component like Shadcn carousel gave us. So we're going to call this carousel item. So let's just select that, and let's save that. So simply this is just to wrap the entire code with the Shanty UI item package. So we're going to bring in a different component, which is to just simply to navigate between the items. So it's just the previous and next item. So I'm just going to paste that in. Then let me just import that and I explain that for you guys. So let me import the previous and the next. So basically what we did here, let me move the sidebar. So basically what we did here was to just simply set the previous to absolute, then set the top to 20 on mobile view, then on large view, which is desktop, up to 28, flex the width to 30 pixels. So that's the exact width I'm setting the previous item or component to. Then we have the height to the same width, same size. I mean, we set the padding to 0 left. So setting the left to position to 88%. Then on large, we are setting to 46%. Then we are giving it a Z index of 99.9. Similarly with the Carlson Next absolute top 32, top 40 on desktop view. Then we have with the same thing, left 88, left 46. And the only difference is the top is I can see, let's see it. The top here, the top is lower, we're pushing it down to close to the bottom side. So let's save this and let's see how this looks like on our project. So once you're done writing this, just simply go to the project we're looking at. So let's switch and let's look at it. So if you come over here, we should see we've already positioned the scroll previous and the next. So by default, the previous is disabled because we have nothing before it. So once we click on the next, it should scroll to the next one. You click on the next, it should scroll to the next one. So this is this is amazing and very and also cool. So once we are done with this, we are going to look at the next thing is the dark mode. So let's move on to where we can integrate the dark mode and see how to switch between the dark mode and the light mode. So let's go. All right. So let's add the next package, which is the dark mode or the next thing. So let's come over to our terminal and let's add this. So let's put in this or just paste in the code here. So just install npm install next thing. So just install it. I've already installed it. It should just show me to override it. Okay. So I've actually added it. So once you've added it, let's go over to so we're going to add in a new package here. I mean a new folder. So guys, a new folder. So just come over to the root folder. Let me put this on. Let me just select the JSON package. So just create a folder. I'll call it context. Then inside the contents, we're going to create in a new file which is called the theme provider. So I will just do that now. So I'll just come here Let's create a theme provider. And inside the theme provider, we're going to paste in some code here. This is a theme provider for we're going to use in our layout. So once you've done that, the next thing to do is to go inside our layout and let's put in the theme provider to wrap our app. So once we've done that, let's come in and let's add this. So just move the body up. Then theme provider should be imported from the context, not from the next theme. And let's put inside. Once you've done that, we're going to move into the next in the nav bar where we're going to add in the theme. So inside the nav bar, we're going to add in the theme. So I'm going to bring in the to import Nextjs. So let's import this from Nextjs theme. Next theme. So just import that. Let me move this up. So after we've put this in, so we're going to use it to check if the theme is dark. If it's dark, then show the light and logo. Then if it's light, show the dark logo. So my system by default is dark mode, and the theme that I said it should switch from once it's dark, it should show the white logo, or else if it's white, it should show the dark logo. So the next thing we're going to do is to show the drop down which we are going to use to display the theme. So we're going to control the theme. So just come over to this place. Once you are here, just let's place this. I'm going to explain this to you. So this is the drop down menu. We've talked about it in the main content, using it for the share icon. So it's just simply to just wrap a drop down menu. Then we have the trigger. So the trigger is just similar to the way we specify the button on the share icon, the share where we implemented it on the main content. Let me just go there. So the way we implemented it here is just a trigger. So let me just import that. So and these are the sun and moon icon. So I'll just import this from the CVAds. So these two are just from the Next.js doc. If you just select on the dark mode and Next.js, then you can see this here on the website. So let me just show you what is written there. So just similarly H 1.2 with we have the rotate 0, scale 100, transition or dark mode we have rotate 90, dark we have scale 0, absolute we have the height of 1.2 in the same way. Then we have rotate 90, scale 0, dark mode we have rotate 0, dark we have scale 100. So almost similar. Then for the content, we are going to import this. We align it to the end and we give it a width of 52, py1 empty, margin top 3, padding horizontal 2, padding bottom 2. Then let me import this. The label is just give it a heading. Then we also give it a separator. And just import that. Then the radio group. So the radio group is just similar to the way we did it in the main content. Just like we have the main content here. This is just the same way we have a drop down menu group, radio group. So let me import this soon. So all is just similar to just say content pointer, text 15 pixel font menu, and value light. So this is for the value, this is for dark, and this is for system mode. So that is it. So let's make sure our server is running and everything is working fine. So let me open our terminal. And to see everything is working fine. Let me try and refresh it. So we are having an error. So let's go to the code and look at it. So yeah, we are going to check it. Having an error. So let's look at how we are going to fix it. Error is from the use theme. So I don't really know why the error is showing. But let me look at it and I'll get back to you guys. So I found the solution to the issue we had. Why the error is showing up when we try to load the navbar. So I noticed that it's because we didn't add in the use client. So we need to set in use client, and when we save that and preview it, we should see that we're having. So the team is using the dark mode. The dark mode is using the system mode. Currently we are set to the system mode. And when we switch to light mode, it's actually set to light mode. When we switch to system mode, my system mode is dark mode. I have set as my system mode. So I can also switch it to dark, which is still the same thing. Then light. So this I need to also change this. Okay, the primary color here is white when on dark, and the primary color is dark when on light. Similarly to this, that is why you see this is white. This is simpler. So let me go and look at this side, left sidebar. So let me see. Okay, I'm using black here. Let me set this to okay. So I'm going to let me just copy this whole thing and put it here. I want to check whether it will work. It's working. It's working. It's showing this color on dark mode. So this is in a primary. I don't think we're going to have to make changes to this. So let's change the logo. So let's come over to the nav bar and come to where we see the logo. And what we're going to do is we're going to set when on light mode you should use this. When on dark mode you should use this. When on light mode you should use this. When on dark for system. So if your system is light, it's going to be a problem. But my system is dark, so that's why I set it to system users. So let's save that and preview it. As you see that the logo is set. So if I switch from dark mode to light mode, you can see everything's working fine. Except from the primary color here, which you're having problem with this. So to fix that, let's go and use our theme on from Shadcn UI. So Shadcn UI provided various themes. you can use. So TikTok is using red. So I can come here and then I can select any color one. Let me start with red and I can switch to blue. So what you can do here, when you select red, you can see in light mode, you can see in dark mode, you can change the radius, you can set in your or defaults, any of them. So let me just copy the code. So let me copy this. Let me copy this. Then come to where we have our global CSS. So don't override it, just paste it below. And let's scroll up and copy this. Then we can I clear this one out. Let me put this back. Then we should see that our theme has changed from dark to red. So light mode, dark mode. We can also change color from red. Okay, let's use green. The same thing, copy the code, go over to your code, and let's just highlight this, paste this, open this, copy this, clear this one, and let's save and preview. So this is changed to green. So that is how to change the theme in Chakra UI and in Shanty UI. Sorry guys. So let me switch this back from green to red. So this is basically the end of the tutorial. So if you like what we've done, if you share and comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to give the GitHub, the channel GitHub link repository a star, and don't forget to comment your thoughts. See you in the next lesson.